This is probably the only handstand tutorial you'll need because in this video I will be giving you many tips, tricks, and drills that will guarantee achieving your handstand. Before learning a handstand or really any new skill, you need to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes warming up. Here are some exercises and dynamic stretches you can do to warm up your shoulders, core, and wrists, as these parts of your body will be the most engaged during the handstand. To get a feel of the handstand, practice going into a downward dog with your dominant leg in front of you and lightly kicking your legs up, and once you're comfortable, try to work your way up to this L-shaped seesaw motion. If this is too difficult, you might not be kicking up with your dominant leg, so try switching your legs and kicking up with the other leg. A common roadblock people face when learning the handstand is the fear of falling. One of the most effective ways to get over the fear is to get comfortable falling into a bridge. You can do this by doing a seesaw against a wall until you can get your foot to touch the wall, and then bringing your other foot to the wall. Then you can go lower as you get comfortable, and ultimately you'll fall into a bridge. When doing this, make sure your hands are reasonably far from the wall, as it will be easier to fall into a bridge. Once you're comfortable with that, you can practice wall handstands where you'll basically be doing the same thing as before, except you'll go straight into a handstand with your feet against the wall instead of seesawing into it. Once you're comfortable, you can slowly remove your feet from the wall and try to balance on your own. You may fall out of it the first few tries, just keeping it real. Another variation of this drill is a chest-to-wall handstand. Start by going into a downward dog and slowly walking your feet up the wall. Once you're comfortable with that, walk your hands closer and closer to the wall. Then you can slowly separate your feet from the wall. I know this can be a little scary, but I promise you the worst thing that can happen is you falling into a bridge. If for whatever reason you're too scared to fall into a bridge, you can cartwheel out of the handstand like this. To execute a handstand without the wall, start in a lunge with your arms by your ears. Lift your back leg while leaning forward and seesaw into an L-shaped handstand until you can bring your legs together. The moment your feet come up, make sure you lock out those knees and squeeze those quads and glutes to keep your legs straight and tight. In a standard handstand, you want your arms to be straight, engaged, and shoulder width apart. You also want your head to be in a somewhat neutral position. You can make sure your head is neutral by simply looking at the ground. You don't want your head to be excessively tucking in or sticking out. Many of you might have the habit of bending your arms before even going into the handstand, but this literally sets you up for failure. So you need to break this habit by engaging your arms and locking out your elbows. Another tip is to push up through your shoulders. Don't overdo this though, as you could tip over and fall forward. Handstands are all about balance after all, so you don't want to sink into your shoulders, but you also don't want to push up too hard. You want to focus on finding a happy medium between the two. Once you've mastered all of that, you have your handstand. To hold it longer, do the handstand with your fingers separated and bent so you can grip the ground during the handstand. You should also keep your feet together, slightly squeeze your core and glutes, and point your toes to maintain good form. If you're struggling to hold a straight handstand, there are other variations you can try like the stag or the arch, as they are easier to balance. Now there is a secret to holding a completely straight handstand, but before I get into that, I want to let you know that you have a chance to be featured in my videos if you follow one of my stretch routines, send me your before and after results via email and say that you want to be featured. Or you can post them on Instagram and TikTok and tag me and say that you want to be featured. With that being said, the secret to holding a straighter handstand for longer is developing strength in your upper body, which you can do by following my handstand workout on the left-hand side for 14 days. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and I'll see you guys in my next video.